Welcome to Talking Comics, where we are bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded. I'm Ryan.
I'm Sean.
Thank you guys for tuning in once again. God, we've been doing this for a little while now, and I couldn't be happier.
For global, huh?
Yeah. So I recently took a look at the analysis of our videos, and over the past 28 days, 6.5% of our watch time has been in the United Kingdom.
Nice.
I don't know how or why, but I'm not going to question the good things.
I just started the new season of Impractical Jokers. So
Yeah.
I guess, and to coin their season 6 phrase, we're in London, bitches.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and we're up a couple subscribers, so we're on one more subscriber, and we hit 30.
That's good news.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot because I don't go on the internet.
Yeah,
I leave that all up to you.
and
then you tell me.
Yeah, I send Sean a link once a week.
If you remember.
Yeah.
Everybody hears it but me.
But yeah, I'm happy to see us growing. I'm happy to see our viewership broadening. Yeah, I couldn't be happier about that.
So pun intended, we're kind of doing the snowball effect.
A little bit.
It's beautiful, man.
That's beautiful, man. I'm wearing the hat today too.
I saw that. That's what made me just think of that right now.
Speaking of that, one of the comics I'm going to be talking about later in this is a Kevin Smith title.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
Look forward to hearing about that, people.
Yeah, this kind of could be a Kevin Smith sprinkled edition because I've got some more Comic-Con news here.
Oh, do tell.
Yes. Gave you kind of the rundown. I was a little giddy last year. Or last episode. I just found out that AMC will be having multiple mega panels in Hall H.
Oh, really?
The infamous Hall H. Walking Dead, of course.
Yeah.
The last season, the cliffhanger with introducing Negan, the big baddie. Baddie, get it? Yeah, AMC's representing hard with Walking Dead panel. I mean, you're going to have Reedus, Andrew Lincoln, Denai Guerrero, all of them.
Yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead. They're coming up. Their season starts up August 21st. You can see that there. That's their new thing, because by this point they've gone down. They've been on the water, and they made it to Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, if you follow the story on that one.
I haven't really watched much of Fear the Walking Dead.
I love it.
It started off really interesting, but it's just I haven't been in the mood yet for it's such a slow build on that one.
For a lot of people. You're not the only one, because it's the beginning. After watching 6 seasons of Walking Dead, let's go back to the beginning where we just maybe see a zombie in the background. No, they're full on now.
Right on.
And apparently for Comic-Con, the whole entire cast, crew, everybody's going to be there on the panel.
Nice.
And they're bringing the Abigail, the boat itself.
Oh, nice. I love when they bring in stuff like that from TV shows.
Yeah.
When I went to Wizard World, I got a picture of myself next to the Supernatural Impala.
I saw that one too.
That car is so sick.
See, I just don't watch the show to have appreciated it. But DeLorean, the Mystery Machine, so on and so Ghostbusters, Yeah, but that was a badass looking car, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I should watch the show. just the car.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I'm not really much of a gearhead myself, but I'm like, that's a nice looking car.
Yeah. So we got Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, all in Hall H, back to back. AMC's also after that a Preacher panel.
Ooh, nice.
AMC's Preacher, our comic book Preacher. And Redemption from last year. I don't know if you heard the Kevin Smith incident from last year. Okay, well, AMC, there's going to be a comic book men panel too.
Oh, nice.
So the comic book men folks, they're going to be there. Walt, Brian, Ming, Mike, Kevin. Last year, Kevin had his daughter there in Hall H.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing a Q&A. The Hall H is pretty much the hallowed ground there. And brought the daughter in. They first started plugging the yoga hosers.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he followed J.J. Abrams and the Star Wars unveiling. And not on purpose, but just by accident. J.J. just happened to mention after the big Star Wars Force Awakens thing, he's like, they did a symphony.
Mm-hmm.
The symphony next door.
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars told in music.
Oh,
and he's like, hey, who wants to come over and see, watch this? And the place cleared out as Kevin was coming.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Well, I mean, he did have a good 500 people stayed.
Yeah,
but
the true fans.
But I mean, JJ, I guess I listened to that and did the interview and everything. He's like, doesn't get mad or anything. And JJ obviously did not even realize.
Yeah,
he didn't. He thought that was it he didn't know Kevin was coming on after him. Hey, come on, everybody, let's go.
I believe Josh told me that because when he was down living in Mormontown,
Utah.
Yes, that's the one. He went to a Kevin Smith.
Even Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently during it, because it was now Star Wars had been out at this point, Kevin said that he got to be a stormtrooper.
He did the voice. He did a voiceover.
Did a voiceover for one of the stormtroopers.
Yeah, he's in Star Wars.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool.
Technically, he's in Star Wars. Yeah, but Walking Dead, comic book man, AMC is just coming strong in Hall H, so that'll be fun. Speaking of Walking Dead, comics, issue issue 156. We have some Negan action going on.
Nice.
Now, the cover is a little misleading.
I'd say.
Yeah. Robert Kirkman even went on. Apparently, he does a lot of apologizing, but I think he's got a sense of humor that's a little sarcastic. So he's kind of a witty dude. Mm-hmm. So to give a little backstory on this one, 156, Queen and King.
Mm-hmm.
So I know in the show, if you watch the show, they just introduced Negan.
Yeah.
In the books, we're way ahead. Rick and the Hilltop community are all out war with Negan and the Saviors, fighting. A lot of key characters are gone.
Yeah.
Fighting. This mega herd in between this fighting. These are just all humans fighting.
Yeah.
Mega herd comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So they're battling that too, in the middle of all this. Negan gets captured. They've got him in the cell.
Yeah.
Okay. They built cells in their little community. They're rebuilding, starting from scratch. At this point, over. In the middle of all that, fighting the herd off, capturing Negan, there's this character named Nelson, who swears up and down that zombies were talking to him. There's talking zombies.
Oh, jeez.
So they kind of sedate him a little bit when they get back and say, hey, maybe you might want to be in a cell too.
Yeah.
Swears up and down. Well, come to find out there's this new group called the Whisperers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what they do is they skin and treat the inside of basically a zombie carcass.
Oh, wow.
So they are able to walk. Kind of like how they do on the show where they cover themselves with the guts.
Yeah.
They put full-on bodysuits on. And they can walk around. They have no problem. And they don't get infected from the inside because they treat it.
Yeah.
So they're safe.
So they basically tan the hide and then wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're called the Whisperers. So to give you a little backstory on them, they're led by a female who just calls herself Alpha.
Mm-hmm. Don't
know her origin, don't know her name, so on and so forth. And then her second is called Beta, who's a guy.
Yeah.
Right? Alpha has a daughter named Lydia. Mm-hmm. And Alpha rules the Whisperers by example.
Yeah.
Like, if you get out of line, like, even her own daughter has had her repeatedly beaten and raped.
Wow.
So she doesn't show any weakness.
Mm-hmm.
She's banished her, which ends up, to make a long story short, she comes across Negan, who escaped
from
the cell, and he's getting out of there, right? after the long back and forth with Rick, the philosophical talks, this, that, and everything
Punisher
else.
versus Daredevil.
You pretty much find that they're almost the same person. They got a lot in common, just on different sides.
Mm-hmm.
So he winds up with the Whisperers. Negan does.
Yeah.
And, they don't... Beta doesn't like him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Beta doesn't trust him. Alpha, at this point, has killed a lot of Rick's people.
Yeah.
The Whisperers have, hit and run attacks. And they don't see him coming. They bring a lot of herds so that when they're fighting zombies, it's like, oh, zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh, Whisperers.
Yeah.
They can hide in plain sight almost with megahertz.
Wow.
And to the point where she tries to make examples of Negan.
Mm-hmm.
She starts to basically treat Negan the way he treated some of his wives.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of an origin story on both of them.
Interesting.
A little bit. More Negan than other, which I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
He ends up getting in the face. He's not scared of Beta. Beta is like the strong arm, and he's just itching to kill Negan. Just get rid of him. Doesn't Alpha kind of respects the fact that Negan doesn't back down?
Yeah.
And they kind of have this little one-on-one conversation, and she actually breaks down and confides, saying that she is tired, she feels weak. This is the real her. She misses her daughter. She hates herself for what she's done to her daughter.
Mm-hmm. And
Negan goes, "Oh yeah, it's all right," because Negan is all the atrocities that Negan has done. He does not like any harm, definitely not rape towards women.
Yeah.
Nothing towards women. Says that. And he's consoling her, telling her. And then he ends up stabbing her and cutting her head off.
Wow.
And the book ends with him holding Alpha's head up and goes, "I want to see what Rick will think about this." I don't know what his game is. Is he legitimately trying to earn Rick's trust, and they're going to be on the same side? I don't know, but Alpha, for those of you who are readers, that was a major character at this point. And Negan, there you go.
That's crazy.
But in the middle of that, you got some Negan origins, back, because they've done this little one-shot where you kind of do it, where I was telling you he was a coach.
We talked about that.
Found out before the apocalypse, his wife... He was cheating on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with the other woman when she found out that not only she was in the hospital, she has cancer and she's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Lucille.
Oh. Wow.
Hence the name of the bat.
Wow.
And that's why he always talks very affectionately to Lucille. He's just, yeah. So that's how he's dealing with it. And then his wife passed away from cancer. He wasn't there when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Man scorned by his own hand.
Yeah.
He messed up big time. And then, oh, by the way, the apocalypse just hit.
That's a twofer.
That is, yeah. So that was kind of cool. I like the little curtain peek on Negan, So
it's it kind of makes you do a double take on whether or not he's really a bad guy.
Well, you could say the same thing. I mean, just the show alone.
Yeah.
Look at Rick the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And look at him the last 2 seasons, and you go back, Shane was right.
Yeah,
Shane was right.
He was. I like when shows do and comics and whatnot do stuff like this, because it makes you think. I mean, one of the main reasons we read these is to get out of reality, of course.
Oh yeah.
Get into the fiction and this mystical world where crazy things happen. But at the same time, you kind of want. Excuse me. You kind of want. You don't want to, just veg out. It's interactive. It makes you think. It makes you feel.
I don't know about you. Like you said, you're not a gearhead. I was never, growing up, I didn't take shop in school. I wasn't the athlete.
Yeah.
Grown man now, still reading comics, into comics, love this stuff. if I'd have listened to the people who are saying, you're at this certain age and then you have to give up what you like.
Yeah.
Because grow up, basically. If I'd have listened to those people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's like, why do those sports kids can grow up liking that football team or baseball team all the way up into their adulthood? But I can't like the Avengers, Yeah. Plus, you can learn stuff from them.
This actually just made me think of a post I saw on Facebook just yesterday. All these people making fun of Pokemon Go players. Well, they're about to start drafting their fantasy football leagues.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, you can't really make fun of someone like for it being their thing. We're humans. We want to feel superior over another. It's like biological, practically. It's
preying on each other. Is that what you're saying? You're getting all philosophical,
like we did with Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can learn stuff, man. You like quantum physics, like read the Atom or Hank Pym comics.
Yeah,
you can learn stuff like that. Learn about different suns and stuff. Reading Superman.
Yeah. Since I've gotten more into comics recently, I started following a bunch of other comic book YouTuber guys.
Yeah.
And I have learned a lot from some of these guys. Like one of them, NerdSync is his YouTube channel. He does this thing called comic misconceptions. And he explains, the theories and ideas behind comics.
It's not just punching faces and necks all the time.
Like he was talking about the Flash. And he went in and explained all the different types of paradoxes that the Flash creates, like the grandfather paradox, the Hitler paradox, all of that stuff, and it was really awesome.
There's actually, it's called, oh my god, what is it? The theory where people can remember things differently at certain times. Like, do you remember when what's his name? The Mandela theory. Nelson Mandela. Like, when did he die? Remember he dropped out.
Yeah, I've heard of this story. I've heard this theory before, where you can ask like 100 people when did he die.
Yeah.
And each one will have a different answer.
Yeah, like he was in prison in the 80s, or he died in the 80s, but he died. You could look it up. It's weird. Like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father. Mm. Remember that? Remember that line?
Yeah.
It never happened in the movie. No, I am your father. He never said, Luke, I am your father. But people remember that. It's like, did they or didn't they? It's like, that is a poor example because the way George Lucas does all his movies all the
time. Yeah. So it's not all just fiction. You can learn things from reading comics because it is a real life person writing this story.
Yeah.
They put emotion and thoughts into these characters, and I can't really think of words to really describe it best. It's just something you experience.
We talked about
the Spider-Man.
Paul Dini. Remember he put real life stuff in it. And he got mugged.
Yeah. That's actually in my. I put that in my wish list online the other day.
Yeah, where was Batman when something real life happened to me? Yeah. Oh yeah. You're definitely right.
Yeah. So I really need to get into reading The Walking Dead, but that is going to be an expensive reading catch up.
It's worth it though. I love The Walking Dead.
And I still need to finish watching what Walking Dead episodes are on Netflix. It's just I have to get myself into the right state of mind to binge watch it.
Yeah.
And when the episodes are like 45 minutes long,
mm-hmm.
you have to find the time. And with the podcast and work, sometimes I have trouble getting time to read comic books.
Oh, I know.
But it's not to say that that the pressure of doing this gets to me. I love it. That's the reason we keep doing it.
Well, with The Walking Dead, I've actually broke my own rule and cheated and looked online.
Yeah,
I've read them online.
All right, I need to know what's happening.
I got to keep up on The Walking Dead because I know what you mean. I can't sit down for all the stuff that I've read and watched.
Mm-hmm.
The long list. I have a longer list of stuff that I haven't even got to.
Like I own so many comic books right now.
Yeah.
That I haven't even read them all.
I know. You're preaching the choir over here.
Which is good because it gives me stuff to read. Like, say I got a crappy paycheck at work, I can't buy any new comics. Luckily, I got this stash.
Got one in the chamber. Yep, I know. I'm surrounded by them all day, every day.
Yeah. I mean, your main interaction with comic books nowadays is us doing this podcast.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
But even though life gets in the way, we find a way to get a hold of them and read them because it's something we enjoy.
Oh yeah. But I feel like I'm in Dante's Inferno, surrounded by water, but I can't drink it.
Yeah.
All right, sir. What do you got?
I
lay it on me.
Have one of the comics I want to talk about today is Green Arrow issue 1.
All right.
This isn't the Green Arrow Rebirth; it's the issue after the Rebirth.
Okay.
So, it's short, but sweet. And it left me, and, I'll talk about it later in this discussion, but it left me hanging and needing the next issue.
All right. All right.
I'm going to start off with this. All right, so New 52, anyone that's familiar with Green Arrow New 52, it's quite a bit different. It was quite a bit different than Green Arrow was before.
Yeah.
So I have good news. The goatee is back.
All right.
That's my lead-in. The goatee is back.
Nice. Nice.
And in better news, he's with Black Canary again.
Okay.
In the New 52 Green Arrow, him and the Black Canary were not partners or a couple.
Right.
From what I understand. They discussed, Wally discussed it minorly in the DC Universe Rebirth, and how they have these strange lingering feelings for one another, but don't understand why. They feel they're drawn to each other, but don't know how. So they're back together working as a team up in Seattle, which I feel Seattle is a good place for Green Arrow. In the show,
wait a minute, Seattle?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the show, he's in Star City, which is basically like San Diego or some other California city, right? That has the weirdest California weather ever, where it actually rains.
I know, yeah.
He's got a sidekick. It's his little sister that he didn't know he had. Apparently his father had an affair or something along those lines. So he has this little like half Asian sister who's his sidekick.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, who the hell is this character? Her name's Emmy. And yeah, so she's working with him, reluctantly, like kind of like in the show. It's like, I don't want you to be my sidekick, but you're so good at being my sidekick, and I can't really stop you at doing it.
Right on.
And his little sister happens to be a Black Canary fangirl. So she's out there helping Black Canary and Green Arrow fight off these bad guys, and at the end she's like, hold on, I just need to take this moment to be a real fangirl.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're both like Spidey in a Civil War.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. You know what'd be really awesome?
What?
It's in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Guess what I just thought about?
What?
If they cross over? Green Arrow, goatee and all, teams up with Phoenix Jones. How badass would that be?
Sweet. The writer of this was, I'm not familiar with the name, Benjamin Percy.
Benjamin Percy.
And the art was done by Otto, I'm probably going to butcher this last name, Schmidt?
Oh, yeah, that dude.
Otto Schmidt.
Yeah.
He did a stellar job. I love like how I love it when the comics look really hand drawn. Like that. It's really I really appreciate the art style of that. Because not that I don't appreciate the high glossy finish that a lot of these newer comics have of like, you know, being all done on the computer. It looks great, don't get me wrong, but seeing these comics that were like, you know, hand drawn, you could see the like blood, sweat, and tears that the artist put into it to make them look so sweet.
Okay, I recognize those names because I had briefly had the Titans. Mm-hmm. They're doing the Titans too, but
oh, nice.
The other guy, he did the artwork for Detective Comics.
Oh, right on.
Years back. So I recognize, Ben Percy. My God, where do I know that name? Yeah, I saw the name on the Teen Titans one.
Yeah, he did he did a good job writing. I mean, he left me hanging and wanting the second issue.
That's good.
Apparently, the bad guys in this are using, you know, Queen Industries shipping containers to sell people on the black market.
Slavery. Human trafficking?
Yeah, human trafficking.
Oh, wow.
And they were using Queen Industries shipping containers, so he has to put on the Oliver Queen mask and go to the office and talk to people, talk to his CFO, and he's like, "Oh, we'll talk about this later. Something, blah blah blah."
Is it inside the company?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say somebody in quality control needs to be fired.
Yeah. So there's this big, you know, backroom meeting between his CFO and a bunch of other baddie types, and they send an assassin to kill Oliver.
Do we know who it is?
Shadow.
Oh, really?
Emmy is Shadow's daughter.
Oh, wow.
So she turns on Big Brother and shoots him with an arrow. And this issue, I think the issue's title was...
Wait, that's who the dad had an affair with?
Apparently.
Wow. God.
And so the issue of this title's... it's either issue 1 or issue 2, I can't remember. Was titled The Life and Death of Oliver Queen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they definitely left me hanging, wanting to know what happens next. Yeah, not much else I can really say about it.
Well, what more needs to be said? Go out and buy it.
Yeah, go out and buy it. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Pick it up while it's...
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And you get to see that because they're kind of... Ollie and Black Canary are kind of, you know, always in this weird place, and he's trying to explain to her the difference that his company is trying to make, because at the beginning he's like paying off the police, not paying off the police.
Mm-hmm.
He's like gives the police money, and he's like, it's not so much that I'm paying them off as I am rewarding them for doing good.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy who's running the cargo shipment area that they were in, he said, how much are they paying you? I'll pay you double if you let me know before this even is off the books.
Oh.
And then, you know, she's like, you're paying people off, you're bribing them. Why would you let that scumbag work for you? And so he takes her around town to all the places. Like, you know, he says, you know, nothing can help a kid more than a big grass field and a nice, well-oiled baseball mitt. And, you know, I'm feeding hungry children, helping, you know, prenatal care and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that. He's trying to convince her he's not a bad guy, essentially, which is really.
Meanwhile, the police are like, "When do we become part of an auction?" Do I hear what? What's the bid now?
So I definitely recommend checking this out. I have a feeling it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, it's starting off good.
Mm-hmm. What else do you got?
Oh, okay. You ready for this?
I think so.
I want to say I was right, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I was right. Steve Rogers, Captain America, issue 2.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. Look at that art. Look at that cover art.
Right on.
Cover art. Look at that angry Cap. Angry Cap. Why, Cap? Why? We find out why.
Yes.
Okay, remember what I was telling you about the number one that just blew everybody's hair back and death threats to Marvel. Now they're saying with issue 2 out, they're backtracking. It's like, why? Why? You know, how dare you do this to Cap? Blah blah blah. Well, it's not really.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, everybody should have known. It was the thing, because with the Red Skull being, having and using the Kobik, there was other things that happened that really have nothing to do with Cap. I mean, it does, but not. He's not a Hydra agent. Yeah. You find out little things without spoiling the whole story. You find out that they play upon the timeline a lot. Where even the old ones that Kirby and Simon did at the beginning, when they first were doing Cap. Hydra, which they've done on the show too, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra has existed for thousands of years. Yeah. Beyond the planets and stuff. They use different powerful hate groups. They're not racial like Nazis were. Yeah. They're beyond that. You find out Hydra has actually used the Nazis, used Muslim militia, used white power groups, Mexican mafia. Everybody that has the hate, they use them as a means to an end, a tool. So, I'm not, they're not the Hitler offshoots that everybody, they originally were intended. You find out it's more and more and more expanding to the point where the Red Skull has gone beyond even that. It's kind of like you were saying earlier, a reflection of today's times. Red Skull, I just found out with the Kobik. Yeah, he's gone on the realms and he can tap in. He is using the Kobik, or he's got this power that he's absorbed. That Hail Hydra panel at the end of the first one. Yeah, that's Red Skull controlling Captain America. Oh, really? Because he has absorbed Xavier's brain. What? Red Skull has Charles Xavier's brain. What? Folks, I wish I could. I got some more bombs to drop on you too.
I don't think my hat cannot contain my mind exploding.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Where this is going?
Jeez, what? Holy crap!
Yeah.
That came out of left field.
I know, right? Remember that panel I showed you where it shows Cap? They're fighting. He's got the Kobik back again, and he zings the shield, and Red Skull loses an arm.
Yeah, I'll put that up here so you guys.
That
can see
was nothing compared to what? I don't need the arm.
I don't need my arm when I can use Cap's.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
And then we still got Baron Zemo thinking he's still coming. Yeah. After Red Skull too, like that jockey power. That he's gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. Holy jeez! Holy crap!
So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
My brain, ow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is wow. That's crazy.
I got another one I could drop on you too.
Oh,
not yet. I'll save it for. I know you got more. I love the Green Arrow one, so hit me with another good one. We'll just go. Right. We'll just tennis back and forth these little bombshells to each other.
Well, this one's. I guess I'll call it a blast from the past. It's kind of old now. I mean, not too old. Kevin Smith title. Kevin Smith wrote this. Daredevil, Guardian Devil.
Very familiar with it. Very familiar.
Yeah, guess who's... So, starts out typical, Daredevil, fighting crime, whatever. He's working for a big law firm now. Yeah. And prior to... It starts out and explains like that prior to this issue, Karen left him.
Yeah, they were together.
Yeah, they were together in a very serious relationship, living together. She leaves him, goes off to California, and, he's left there kind of, like, brokenhearted, kind of confused, dealing with his emotions. as well as a Catholic boy can.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, I feel like he says something along those lines involving, his people, New York Catholic boy not being able to handle his emotions properly.
Well, they don't celebrate their religion; they mourn it. So more mourning for Matt Murdock. Say that 3 times fast. More mourning for Matt Murdock.
More mourning for Matt Murdock. More mourning for Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So he's out, doing his typical Daredevil rounds, and he stops a kidnapping of a young woman carrying a baby, and she runs away. He ties up the bad guys, whatever. He goes back to the office, and he's sitting there wondering who this lady was when he hears and smells her coming into the office. She comes in and, wants to talk to him. She's holding this baby, and she says that she knows that he's Daredevil. What? Yeah. How do you know who I am? Very confused, and he's listening to her heartbeat the whole time, so he knows that she's not she knows.
Yeah, she's not lying.
And she says that she's been talking with angels.
Now, see, I'm very familiar with this story, but you see the parallels?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
She's been talking with the angels. They told him that he was Daredevil. Told her that he was Daredevil, and that the baby has is the second coming, essentially, of Jesus Christ.
Are we sure about that?
We'll get into that in a moment. Yeah. And she just kind of hands him the baby and runs away, essentially. Yeah. So guess who's babysitting? Yeah. Now you know that's because that's the title of the video. See, I said the thing.
There you go.
So he's stuck with this kid. Doesn't really know what to do. So he calls in backup. The Black Widow.
Yes.
Natasha Romanoff. And she's like, they back and forth. They used to date, whatever. She still has strong feelings for him. So he just like, here, take this baby. I gotta go check something out.
This baby's being passed off, and everybody just runs away.
I didn't have the heart to change his diaper, so if you could just do that, that'd be great. I was an Avenger.
I know. What am I doing now? I'm nannying.
So he goes off and tries to figure out what this baby is. He goes back. He's in the office, and some weird old guy with a big mustache comes in, and says that the baby, he knows who Matt is as well for some reason, somehow. And he says that the baby is not the savior. It is the Antichrist. And he gives Matt this little cross thing, says that I'm part of a old, ancient organization that's looking out for the protection of the world or some bullcrap like that.
Yeah, a little calling card with the cross, yeah.
And some stuff happens. Matt gets kidnapped by a demon, and the demon basically saying the same thing that the guy said, where's the baby? It's gonna destroy everything or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets away, meets up with Natasha on a rooftop, and he snatches the baby away from her, kicks her down, and he's about to throw the baby off a building.
He attacks Black Widow.
Yeah, he attacks her.
Messes her up, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's gonna throw the baby.
Throw the baby off the roof. Wow.
It's saved. So Natasha saves it. Then she kicks the crap out of Daredevil, pins him down, gives him 10 seconds to explain himself. She takes off the baby. And so yeah. And just around this time, Karen comes back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dun dun dun.
Yeah, you know the comics, so you know what's coming up. he's an emotional and mental wreck right now. He's just sitting in his apartment, and he hears her, and he can smell her coming down the hallway. As soon as she entered the apartment building, he knew that she was there, and he opens the door just as she's about to knock, and she's in tears. Her mascara's running. He what's wrong? Your heartbeat's erratic. Something's wrong, and she just says, "I have AIDS."
Yeah.
Boom. Holy crap. It was crazy.
Well, yeah, you gotta, for those who haven't read, Karen,
oh yeah, she was a junkie and at one time porn star and with hundreds of guys or whatever.
Yeah, she did the old porn there while working for Murdoch and Nelson.
Yeah. So, and apparently she would check herself every 6 months, and she goes to Los Angeles, comes back, I'm HIV positive, and she cries herself to sleep, and he goes off the next day to work, to find out that, he leaves early in the morning because he gets a call. Foggy is in jail.
Accused of
murder.
Murder, right? Yeah.
Murder.
Dun dun dun.
Foggy Nelson in the kitchen with a candlestick.
Yeah.
The client that they were representing, he takes her out to discuss the case, and they get back to her place. She kisses him, pulls him into the room. They do it. And he turns to her. She turns around, and she's a monstrous demon all of a sudden. Scratches his face, and then jumps out the window to its death, framing him for murder and rape.
Yeah.
And because of this, he's like, all right, I'm gonna bail you out. I'll represent you. He goes back to the office, and his superior in the office, who happens to be Foggy's mom,
who fires him.
Yeah, fires him. And she says that they won't represent Foggy, and Matt quits.
I remember when I first read this, somehow that struck me harder than Karen having HIV.
Yeah.
God, my own mom?
Yeah. I get that you don't want to throw your career down the toilet, but innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
whatever happened to that?
That's kind of your motto as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Especially a defense attorney. It's literally in your title, the title of your job description. Defense attorney. You defend.
And it's your son.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be telling the full story, because I want you guys to read it all for yourself. So I'm mostly just covering issues 1 through 5 of the trade paperback.
Just bullet point?
Yeah. So Matt quits. He's investigating, yada yada. There's so much going on. He's a wreck. He gets a hold of the baby again and jumps off a building with it. Get ready to kill himself and the baby. But at the last second, he hooks a building and, falls semi-gently, protecting the baby.
Yeah, he's just...
And happens to land pretty much at a church door. He asks the mother of the church that comes to the door after he knocks on it for help. He wakes up, he's bandaged and whatever in a bed. And it turns out that the sister of this church is actually his real mother. Which blew my mind, because I've never, in any Daredevil I've read, his mother has not been a character much.
Yeah, never been into question or anything like that.
I've noticed I don't think we've talked about Quiver on this show before. That might be another one we'll cover in the future, but it's another Kevin Smith title.
The Green Arrow one.
Yeah, Green Arrow, Quiver. some of his comics, like all of the comics I've read of his, take very serious tones. And, this is 2 comics now. Daredevil, which you expect to have some religious content in it. And surprisingly enough, out of left field again, Green Arrow's quiver has a very religious tone in the background.
Yeah.
But, I dig it. He makes it work into a good story without being preachy. And, yeah, it's really good. So
this also dovetails off of the Black Cat one, Spider-Man one he did in certain aspects of it.
I think this one actually predates that.
Yeah.
Because in Spider-Man and Black Cat, Spidey teams up with Daredevil. He's like, hey, at least I'm not taking care of a baby I think is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So, he has the baby at the church being watched after by his mother, and he decides to get some help from a doctor.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
A very strange doctor.
Stephen Strange.
Yeah. He goes and he starts off by saying his father told him about a boogeyman that used to lived in the village, and would practice the dark arts and yada yada yada.
So with Doctor Strange, I know he conjures up or has to go have a little chat with.
He hands Doctor Strange that amulet that he got in the beginning.
The cross.
Yeah. And he says there's no magic here, but there's a weird fast-acting drug, and I can feel it entering my bloodstream. And he explains, Daredevil's like, what? It transfers a drug, and it causes erratic behaviors and hallucinations.
Yeah, the dude drugged Daredevil.
Yeah. And Doc, he purges it from himself.
Yeah.
Why didn't it affect you? Daredevil says, and I purged it from myself. I can't really know if there's anything mystical or supernatural going on, but if you brought the baby, I could examine it.
Yeah.
And Daredevil instantly thinks he's in on it too. He's part of this conspiracy, and he goes to attack him. And the Doc's like, I sense that the drug is active in you right now, and he purges it. He's like, I feel clear for the first time in days.
Yeah.
And so they go into the basement.
Don't be messing around with the doctor.
Yeah. That guy's he was so ominous too. It didn't, for the first until they go into the basement, they didn't show his face at all. Just his glowing eye and hands.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is so badass.
Yeah. Can't wait for that movie.
I know, right?
It's coming up soon, isn't it? Next month?
Is it August? I thought it was September.
Oh, September, yeah. Don't want to wait. I'm tired of waiting for these movies. So they go into the basement and summon a demon. I'm sure you could guess who.
Oh, I know who.
Mephisto.
The
king of demons, essentially. The true devil himself. And there's, talking. They're trying to figure out, is there a second coming or an Antichrist on the earth? And at the end of the conversation, Mephisto figures out that Daredevil's there because he has a binding making it so Mephisto can't see who's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And Mephisto says, everyone in the end disappoints their mother.
Yeah.
So Daredevil leaves. No, not my mother. No. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
So he goes to the church and finds everyone, blood everywhere. His mother laying on the ground, practically dead. All the other nuns and priests and stuff are dead. And Bullseye is there. The organization that has been working against Daredevil hires Bullseye, knowing that there's a vendetta between them.
Oh yeah.
For Bullseye to come and get the baby. So big fight scene. Karen comes, and she tries to help get the baby out of there. In scuffles, more fighting, talking. Daredevil's getting his ass kicked. And at the very end of this scene, of these panels, Bullseye has one of Daredevil's batons, and he throws it at him, and Karen jumps in the way and takes the baton right in the chest and dies. He's now killed Daredevil's mother and his girlfriend.
2 girlfriends.
Yeah, 2 of his girlfriends.
Don't forget Elektra.
Yeah. And that's about where where I'm going to cut off, because that's like issues 1 through 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the whole thing. I really want you guys to read this for yourself, because it's a great read. Any Kevin Smith comic that I've read so far has been really good.
Oh, yeah. I told you this before. I think we did talk about Quiver before, because I had read it.
Yeah.
And you'd give me crap about taking so long. But there was a lot of... I mean, it wasn't bad, but for me, there was a lot of stuff that I had missed. So there was a lot of, like, nods to stuff that I wasn't familiar with. So I didn't enjoy it, or maybe not appreciate it as much if I had read more in the back, because there was long gaps.
There's a lot of stuff, like, that I haven't read. Like, most of what I've read that's considered up to date is like New 52 and on. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff pre-New 52, but there's so much continuity. There's so much. I can never say that word.
What is with you and that word?
I don't read good, I guess. I don't know. Shit. There's so many other stories pre-New 52 that you at this point it's impossible for me to read them all.
Right.
But yeah. So definitely give Guardian Devil a read. It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites.
Especially if you're a Daredevil fan.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
What else do you got?
I got some have you read Superman Rebirth?
No, I have not.
All right, get ready. Got a couple more little surprises for you.
Oh, really?
Superman Rebirth. Read that one there. Speaking of, so it goes back to the Superman before New 52.
Yeah.
That one's dead and gone, literally. It's Clark and Lois are married. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's actually really a nice little. I mean, nothing really major is happening.
Yeah.
But it's leading somewhere. Clark and Lois are married and they have a kid named him Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a thing there, and they have the cat, and they're out on the farm, and this hawk comes down and swoops up and grabs the cat.
Yeah.
And little Jonathan's like, no, my cat, blah blah blah, and he tries to use his he's coming into his powers.
Yeah.
He can't really control him very much, so he uses the heat vision just automatically to try to stop the hawk.
Yeah.
Fries both the hawk and the cat.
Oh. Wow.
And he's going around like trying to keep it, feeling really bad, ashamed, doesn't know what he did really, but he's like, I can't tell mom and dad. Well, dad knows.
Yeah, he saw the whole thing.
Yeah. And he's going around, so he takes him on a little coming of age thing, and he's like, okay, you got it. Here's how he's basically teaching him the way the Kents taught him, Clark, how to grow up.
Yeah.
You've got to, basically, it's better to just tell the truth, own up to your, what you did, and don't be afraid to talk to either your mother or myself. He's so afraid. I was like, I don't want to tell mom, because it was her cat, pretty much. Which leads to, and they finally do that cute little thing where, okay, mom, and he, reveals it and everything. Then he's like, Superman's like, he takes the boy with him. They go, I got a special. I want you to come help Dad. Because unlike the old ones, like, did you ever read Superman Red Sun?
No, I never.
Where they had the sun, but they kept it a secret that Dad was Superman from the sun. Like, he knows now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other series. We're gonna kind of help you get with your powers, adapt them, but at the same time, I'm gonna show you. But you're gonna help Dad.
Yeah.
And I got a special mission for you. And he's all excited. I'm going to go help Dad. Right on.
Yeah.
And he brings him to this super certain group, picks up another kid,
Oh, I see where you're coming.
Mr. Damian Wayne.
Oh, yes.
And they are the newest members of the Teen Titans.
Yes. I've been doing... I haven't read the Superman Rebirth, but I knew that Superman had a kid, and that him and Damian were going to be on the Titans together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the other one I want to drop on you.
Yeah. I haven't read the Superman Rebirth, but I did read the DC Universe Rebirth, where they talked. There was Superman, there was Clark, Lois, and John.
Oh, that was such a sweet book, man.
In a motel building together, and they were watching the news, and Superman had disappeared, and they were talking about, like, we're not on our home anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently, these ones...
They acknowledge that they have memories or whatever from the timelines and 52 and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Well, from the way they said it, it made it sound like these ones were from, like, Earth 2 or 3.
Right.
And they got moved over here at the same time that Earth 1 Superman died.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but yeah, and definitely, man, I cannot wait to start reading those Titans.
I'm having trouble getting my hands on those, man. They were like quick.
Boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
That was quick, man. So, yeah, that's it. I thought it was a fun little story leading up to, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. The strongest boy in the world versus the most arrogant boy in the
world, and how they interact with the other Titans and everything, But yeah, man, Superman Rebirth. I definitely, it's tough to come up with stories for Superman.
The Batman Rebirth did not talk about Damian at all.
No,
like not at all. So he's going to probably be more... at that point, he was probably already in the Titans.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens.
That'll be cool.
This is going to be an expensive year for me. Buying comics left and right.
I am buying something that people will be like, what? You know what's coming out tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
Take a deep breath. Here we go. Batman versus Superman.
Dawn of Justice.
Ultimate Edition. Yeah. The longest title ever.
With a rated R title, I believe,
rated
right?
R. I watched it. I got it on demand before you could... I heard people say here and there, like, oh, wait till the Ultimate Edition, the extra stuff. It'll explain everything.
Yeah.
You know my feelings on the movie.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm like, if you got to explain a joke to me or any sort of thing, explain the punchline, it's not a very funny joke. So if you got to... Plus, when I saw it, it's not really... There's nothing... I don't know why they got the R.
Yeah.
Did
they say drop a bunch of F-bombs? No?
No. Fuck him in the ass. Like that's Martha. Like, when Batman saves her, remember? Like, do what my son would never do for me. Go fuck him in the ass. Nothing like that. You got to see, now this is deep cuts. Because they show the footage of Luthor. Well, first of all, let me talk about, I don't care how many times I watch it. My wife's like, how many times are you going to watch this? I go, until I like it. I was such a flag bearer for this movie, man. And I was like, I mean, I love the Wonder Woman stuff.
Yeah.
I watch it, I'm like, God, it's so badass. And the music and everything, the fights. And I like Batman, the fights. I kept watching that over and over again.
Yeah.
I'd rewind it, watch it. Oh, it went off the air. I don't have it anymore, but I'll buy it on... It looks like it's very fluid. I still like the Batman fights, like when he saves Kent, the mom. It looks like, like the video game, the Arkham Asylum, like when he shoots the cord and pulls, and then punches him in the face as soon as they land. And the rolling and the old animated series, like that.
Yeah.
It's so good. But the thing I will never like is that Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing that gets me is he just seems to know. He knows he knows who Bearman is. He knows how. They never explain. He doesn't earn it. He just knows.
Yeah.
You know what would have been better?
That really irked me too.
He's talking about gods and demons and all this and everything. You know what would have been awesome?
My daddy beat me.
That's the only thing. That's it. He's a rich kid who apparently his kid wasn't loved as a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they done it differently and made him like a religious fanatic?
That would have actually probably been a little bit better.
That would have been way better, in my opinion. Be like, because they don't give us explanations like, why do you hate Superman so much?
Yeah.
It's like, if he was a religious, you're questioning, you're coming into question about, how am I supposed to spread Jesus if you got this guy?
Yeah.
Right? Jesus didn't have heat vision.
Well, we don't know. I mean,
yeah.
some verses of the Bible got translated out.
But his very existence, if he was that religious nut, would be spitting in the face of his beliefs. And that would make it more sense. But they also showed, you ready for this? Which I don't remember. Steppenwolf.
Who?
Steppenwolf. Exactly. That's a deep cut, because they showed Darkseid. Remember the parademons? Like, you and I were like, parademons. But a lot of people wouldn't know that. And apparently Steppenwolf is supposed to be the villain for Justice League. Steppenwolf is when Jack Kirby back in February of 1972 was writing the New Gods.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf showed up in number 7.
Yeah.
And he was part of the Apocalypse Elite, Darkseid's army. He's also Darkseid's uncle. And you only see him in flashbacks. Like, he doesn't have his own series, he doesn't have flashbacks. So that's deep cuts. Like, nobody's going to know. So they can do, they fought on Apocalypse, the planet. And at one point, he led the army because they had a certain big baddie drop in Doomsday. Doomsday was dropped on Apocalypse. And he was informing, he's like a military advisor for Darkseid, not to mention his uncle. Darkseid rather wanted to fight Doomsday hand-to-hand rather than use the Omega Beams. Because he knew, and then doing more research, not knowing that, he could have taken him out with the Omega Beams, he would have come back and they wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Because, if you kill Doomsday, he's immune to whoever. He comes back and you can't kill him that way anymore, type thing. So, he ended up getting killed. But they only show him in, like, little flashback things in the comics.
Yeah.
So, they could do a lot of things, which I'm very excited to announce that they probably will, because Zack Snyder is still a part of that, but Warner Brothers has put in charge a certain person, kind of like a Kevin Feige for Marvel, have got everything all mapped out, everything's going to tie in, continuity, redoing it, taking all the stuff. Like, I guarantee from here on out, those DC Universe movies, they're never going to say the word fucking Martha again. Because they're catching a lot of, your Bob's name Martha, so's mine. Jeff Johns. The dude who did #1s for all the Rebirths.
Oh, yeah.
Been writing all the stuff. He is, it's like, let the guy who knows the most about DC and has done DC justice in charge of the movies. Because remember I was telling you, like, we do the Rebirths, he's written all the #1s, but now that's it. That's why they're one of the reasons why, because he's going off and doing the movies now. He has a great appreciation for, he's just a fan to this day. And he's the CEO.
Yeah.
Of he's the DC bigwig. But even when he was starting, he appreciated the fact that you could play with time travel and multi-universes with Flash.
Yeah.
You can take Superman and do like a Jesus Christ-like type figure and made the stories interesting. Because it's tough to write for Superman.
Yeah.
It is. Everybody knows that. You could take Wonder Woman, same thing, but you can play around with the Greek mythology. You could take, he loved Hal Jordan. He'd take him off into space. You get space travel, like we were talking about earlier at the top of this episode. He would teach you stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing a Greek mythology lesson. We're doing, religious lesson. We're doing space. We're doing time travel. All this different stuff. He wasn't just one-dimensional character in a costume.
Yeah.
He would, it was like the whole universe was the character. And then you just happen to have the character there. And I'm very excited with
having someone like that, writing everything.
He's co-writing with Ben Affleck for the Batman movies and Injustice. The thing, though, that gets me, though, is he also did Justice League, what's that, JLI? Just like Society, where they brought in like Bouncing Boy, and the one was that Society?
I don't know.
What do they call them? The Future Kids. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. I can't
but
remember.
He did that one where he made it where everybody was loose and cracking jokes. Like, everybody had their moments, except for Batman. Batman was stark, always straight, very, brooding, moody, and it made Batman stand out more. He was always a presence, where everybody else, Flash they'd have fun with Flash. They'd have fun with, little jokes with Hawk Girl and stuff like that with the Justice League. I hope they do that route, but Ben Affleck, that's the thing I'll be negative about. I don't think he's going to, I got to be, because Affleck likes to make jokes.
Yeah. Well, as long, Batman can make jokes. As long, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
As long as it's dry. Like, bone dry. Like, it's not so much as a joke as just he says something.
And he doesn't mean for it to be funny?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, possibly. But I hope they go that route. The Jeff Jones route. Because that would be awesome.
Like, in, a lot of the... in the Justice League cartoon, Batman did funny stuff. At least I thought it was funny. All the time. I can't describe a single moment off the top of my head, but he'd set someone up in an awkward situation, and it was always hilarious to me. He's always setting up the other team members to do something, and then he just leaves them.
I like that.
That's Batman humor.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I could deal with that, yeah. But I'm talking about just the old yucks.
Yeah, you can't be. Hey, Clark, knock knock.
Yeah. But then again, like I said,
who's there? The Knight.
Oh, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm gonna buy that movie.
Oh yeah,
good, bad, or indifferent. We all want these movies.
Yeah.
Support them. Even if you don't like it, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, it'll be good to have great writers writing it. I don't want to take Snyder completely off the project because he's really good behind the camera.
There was, when I was watching it, there was great Snyder shots.
Yeah.
The duel, the big, the wide shots.
Yeah.
He's awesome at that.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good, It's not like, I'm saying, Zack Snyder's a piece of crap. No, he's awesome, man.
There's the reason we never did a real review of Batman v Superman on this channel is because we didn't want to just bash it.
Yeah.
Which would have been hard for us to not do because that movie left us so upset with the way they took it.
But there were a lot of cool things in that movie, too. Wonder Woman. I'm still Wonder Woman. God, I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the future of comic book movies.
Yeah, keep making them. I'll keep spending money. I've said that I don't know how many times.
Yeah. Well,
that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share our stuff on different social media outlets: Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all that stuff. And as always,
have a day.